Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and it is Sunday, so it is time for Scraplift Crafternoon, a hop where a group of my friends get together and we find some inspiration and we scraplift it. And this week we are scraplifting Denise. Denise Donahue, and her information will be below in the description box. I'm going to use Vicki Boutin's Sweet Rush to document a picture of me and one of my best friends. And I'm wanting to use as many scraps as possible. I have a bunch of loosey-goosey ones from this collection. I have a hard time getting rid of any bits and pieces from Vicki Boutin and 49 Market and Cocoa Vanilla. And so I keep all the things, and you never know. So there's all these little banners, fishtail banners over on the side. So I'm hoping to use up as many of the scraps as I can. So I've got my papers, my embellishments, my picture, and this awesome layout. So let's see how this goes. So I start by taking all these scraps right here and I just make 1/2 inch strips. I don't really care as much about the length because I can trim them up, but I want them all to be pretty close to that 1/2 inch because I have some branding strips. That's the way I decided the width of my strips because I want to use the branding strips up, and I do. I only keep a couple little bits that left of these strips, only because they're like rainbow colored and I have an idea to how to use them. But really in the end, I only have about a dozen little strips that I put aside, maybe not even that many. Everything else is on the layout. I start with a big strip of double-sided tape and I use this yellow light colored background paper that was kind of dinged up in my drawer, and so I was going to trim off a bit of it anyway because I've cut the paper down to 11.5 by 11.5, I believe. And so I decided I would put it on here instead of trying to put it on the white paper, so that way I could work with it a little easier. And if there's little cracks that are showing through, you're going to see the yellow instead of that stark white. So once I get done, I have fishtailed the furthest to the right, so the very last row, and I have just done a diagonal cut on all the other ones going back and forth, just so it gives it a little bit of dimension. Hers are all fishtailed, I believe, and they are beautiful. Hers is like a rainbow, which of course you all know I love my rainbows, but I'm going to be honest. It was after 11, closer to midnight before I started, and it was after 1 by the time I got to where I'm at now doing the voiceover. And I was tired, so I didn't want, and I really wanted to use up all these scraps. And since it wasn't necessarily going to work to be rainbow order, because there's a lot of mixed colors on here, I just went for it. And so she also has like those 2 little pinkish strips down the side. And so I just trimmed a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch strip of this wordy bit paper that's got that dark blue background. And I decided to use that for my 2 strips instead. And then I've matted my picture on this lovely tealy colored paper. And I turned it cockeyed like she's got in the sketch. And then instead of a bunch of flowers, because I ended up only realizing I have 1 large flower and this 1 little red flower, so I'm going to use both, but I brought in the butterfly to kind of give me that upper right corner of the picture embellishment cluster. I do fold the wings in a little so it gives some dimension. Yes, that's going to flatten once it's in a book, but I like adding it so it gives, even once it's in the book, it still gives it a little bit of dimension. So I get that on there. I've got that floral on the bottom. I do go back in with my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive and glue those down. They are definitely not very sticky anymore. But sugar, I think that Sweet Rush was probably one of my earlier Vicki Boutin collections, so it's probably 2 or 3 years old. So, I mean, that makes sense. But I am trying to use it up. I only have about 4 sheets of paper left. That pink paper I'm using in the background was actually one that I cut a circle out of, so it was already a scrap officially. But I love cutting circles out of the middle so that I can still mat layouts like this on there. And I love matting a layout because it really brings everything together, especially when there's so much chaos with all the different banners and everything on there. And the back side of this paper has clouds on it, and I like that, but this picture is at night, and there's actually moons, like the moon cycle in the background behind us, because that's on her wall. And so I didn't really, I mean, there are a couple of cloud strips of paper on here, but I just didn't want that. And she does like pink, and I do like the darker color, trying to bring that white, pop, makes that white pop even more. So after I get those clusters together in the top right of the picture and the bottom left of the picture, I kind of do a little adjusting. I do a little journal note on here. This is going to be connected to at least one other layout I've already done. So I believe I did journaling on there, talking about going over and playing video games and having a barbecue at my friend's house with her family. And this was just right before I left, I said, I need a picture. And she is always willing to get in pictures with me, which is good. So we just documented hanging out together. This was back in June. And then I pull out my title, and I'm using up some more of the sticker book stickers and embellishments. And I just put this little hello in all the colors, since I've got all those colors down the right side. I felt like the title saying hello, my favorite, because this is probably one of my favorite pictures of us. We've taken some fabulous pictures. She's very photogenic. But this is one of my favorites. So, but anyway, just hanging out is also one of my favorites. So after I get some embellishments on there, I felt like she has this really pretty little floral that's going down that far right strip. And I decided I wanted to add a little something to the strip that I had there. So I had a few stars that are puffy and a couple of hearts that are puffy or chipboard. So I just kind of scatter those down there instead of, like, she's got, like I said, those really pretty hearts or flowers. I was going to do, you can see those ones in the bottom left corner. I was going to add those too, but I just thought it was too much. There's a lot going on with the little banner strips, and since I did not do the color coordinating like she did, it's even more busy in my opinion. So, but that is it. I love this layout. It did take me a while because there's all those little bits and pieces, and I decided to cut the fishtails out of the one end and everything. But her layout is just stunning. I love bright colors. I love rainbow colors, and I love documenting these fun pictures. So I hope you will go check out her Instagram, which will be linked below, and any other social media we have for her will also. And all the lovely ladies that I scrap lift with, there are going to be some more joining us very soon, and I am so excited. I will hopefully remember to introduce you to all of our new friends when they get started. I think most of them are starting in August, which is coming up fast, y'all. So I would love it if you'd give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope you'll come back and see me again really soon. Have a great day, and I hope you get a chance today to do something you love with someone you love. Happy scrapping!